All right, so how are you today?
I am great. I have to tell you, I know there are folks in the room. There are folks that are watching on camera today live. There are folks that will be watching after today. The energy is electrifying, not just in this room, but again, if you're watching, you can't see outside of the room. The whole Delaware Contemporary, inside, outside, is packed.
It is. It's very overwhelming, so much so and so much energy that I failed to take a moment to ask you who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself. And I mean, I know there's a picture up here, but so go ahead and introduce yourself to our group and our crew out here.
Thank you. I would love to do that. I will tell you, the first part of my introduction is I'm a Delawarean, and it's great to be with you all today. I happen to be fortunate enough to be the voice, the vehicle, the elected state senator for Senate District 1, brand new state senator. And I'm so fortunate to be able to listen to my constituents, be able to hear what they're feeling, try to bring what they need to life. And I'm also at the same time a really proud member of the United Way of Delaware team, where we get to work across the state to help people help people. When I talk about my role at United Way, when I talk about my elected role, it's the same. The two different vehicles to try to accomplish very similar outcomes. Both vehicles are to try to help people. There are some folks in the room today that understand some of the work that we do at United Way. They've been a part of leading that work at United Way. I see you, Shay. And there are folks that are simply members of the community that are just as important as us that sit on stage with some interesting title. We are the vehicle, I am the vehicle for their voices.
Wonderful. So I have a series of questions for you. So my name's Amy. Sorry I didn't introduce myself to you. So I am part of the monthly purpose that happens. So if you enjoy this, we want you to watch it live. Come back and see us on the third Thursday of the month. We have a very good time. And if you come back to the live, there's snacks. So not that there's not snacks here, but there's snacks. So the United Way is built on service for others. In your mind, what does the word volunteer mean to you?
Oh gosh, that's a big, fantastic question. And there are ways to answer it that are narrow and important. But when I thought about the topic and I was thinking about the conversation we get to have today, and I think about the larger room that we're in today, it opens my mind and my eyes a bit about what the actual answer to that question is. For me, and for United Way, and for all of us, I think volunteering is part of our humanity. We can answer that question with a thing that we do or an action that we take. That's incredibly important. That's the what. When you ask that question, I think about the why. Volunteerism is something that I truly believe, and I'm not naive and I'm not Pollyanna, it's part of what makes us human beings. It transcends our political beliefs. It transcends our individual interests and topics or where we fall on a range of issues. It's almost like I think about when you go to see a show, whether it's an art show, the lights go down and we're all the same person. We're watching a show together. So I see it as a part of our humanity, to be honest with you, where we're all exactly the same and why we come to do what we do.
I actually, that was a really good answer, and it made me think about it made me think about something. I've always been engaged in different projects and different things to do service, and it's changed over a little bit of time. My father had passed away about 3 years ago, and a friend of mine had said, you should, do Wreaths Across America, like you would like it. They do it at Bear. It's very nice. And so I had signed up on the internet to do it, and the guy had called, and he's like, I'm so underwater, like there's so much to do. And I was like, well, you called the right person, I'll help you. And I was able to help him that day during the event. I'd never been to it before, but what I found was that day there were 10 other volunteers that looked just like me that had lost their parents that were laying a wreath, and we had that connection, and I said, I am in. And so it was just that moment of that movement of how we could all volunteer together. So yeah, I got that from your answer, like it crossed everything. I have too many papers and my paper fell. So in your thoughts, how does volunteering affect the person who is volunteering as well as the recipient?
Oh my gosh, it's been said a couple of times in a couple of different ways. And if you volunteered ever, then you know what I'm talking about. And also, if you may have not felt like you have formally volunteered, like I signed a sheet and I did a thing and they gave me a badge, we should also remember that volunteering takes so many different forms. It can literally mean being here today, you are a volunteer. Attending today, you're a volunteer. So there's lots of different ways to really understand what volunteering means. And I talk a lot, I'm sorry. I'll be mindful of it. But to get to the answer to your question, this is a little bit of a selfish answer. We get so much more by volunteering than we may actually even give. Not the purpose of volunteering, I completely get it, but the soul fulfillment, the camaraderie, the new relationships. We're doing good, and there's an ROI, which sounds very business-like, sorry, like return on investment by giving 10 minutes or $10 or $10 and 10 minutes that fills our souls and reminds us of who we are as human beings, regardless of whether we're Republicans, Democrats, we are focused on animal welfare or senior citizens. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we sit around an actual or a metaphorical dinner table, and we're all the same people.
So how do we encourage people to volunteer? How do we get people involved? What would you say to someone to get them to volunteer?
Yeah, great question, because that big V word can sound intimidating. Like I have to be an expert in this, or I have to have hours of time to do that. You need to have minutes. You need to know and have an understanding of what you're passionate about or what you do well. There's room for anything that you do well at any organization in this state. You can march, you can walk, you can be behind the scenes and help with filing, you can have a professional skill. All of every single person in this room and in the big room has a role to fill their soul for volunteering. And so the first thing I would say is we should all get over ourselves. We've all got something to give. Destigmatize that we don't know what to do. And in a very simplistic answer, call me. Email me.
Yeah.
United Way of Delaware is an organization that if you don't know what to go or what to do, regardless of watching this today, follow up with me or United Way of Delaware. We work with so many community-based organizations across the state. We're not the end-all, be-all, but we can be the one door in and the one door out. We'll take care of you. We'll make your need meet a need.
So, yeah, agree. I'm not sure how much you were able to walk around and see what was going on. So for those of you that are watching live from home, we are at the Party 5 Community Thrives event, right? So this is the 5th year of the party, which is Delaware's largest community service event. So I have already volunteered myself today doing a few things, putting together some bags, writing some notes to people to feel good. So my last question to you for today is, I know you feel the energy and you feel the excitement. So what do you think, or how do you think we could get the Party 5 to be Delaware's largest festival? And, I think of a festival like this, right? Like different things that, I know we have Firefly and some other festivals, but how do we make the party the largest festival in Delaware?
Yeah, so number one, congratulations on being in the 5th year. Things don't last 5 years. Let's get real about that. It could be a flicker and a flame and then a burnout. If we're 5 years strong, growing every year, I will tell you what that means. That tells me, and I hope it tells you, and it tells you, this is bigger than a music festival. This is a movement. And movements transcend individual, really cool, badass Saturday events, whether it's a music festival or a food festival. Those things are really great, and we come together and we have fun. You got all that there. What's different here, and what will make this the event of the state, is that this is something that relates to everyone. You don't have to be a foodie. You don't have to be a music buff. You have to be a human being that cares about human beings. And you can like food,
yes,
and you can like music, And we can make certain that this is even more accessible for folks in Kent and Sussex County. But y'all are on to something. There's some secret sauce here. It may not be on the surface level. We're tapping into something that's core inside of our DNA. That's why it lasts 5 years. Really great planning, don't get me wrong, kudos. You can't just have a movement without amazing leaders and planners behind it. But there's something magical about what this is tapping within us as humans, particularly, I won't get on a political soapbox, but particularly in this day and time, regardless of your political stripes, we feel a certain way about a whole lot of stuff. But I feel like we can shake it on a day like today.
Yeah.
And we can say, regardless of what you believe in politically or environmentally or emotionally, we're here for each other as human beings. And that, I think, is the secret sauce of today and how we're going to get to where you want to go.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the conversation. It was very, very nice to meet you and talk with you. And, you know, thanks our guests for coming. Senator Cruce, right? And again, if you enjoyed this, stick around, and I will give it back over to Derek and Hyatt.